Okay, so welcome everyone, and thank you for being here. Today I wanted to bring a practice about Ujjayi breathing. Ujjayi breathing in Sanskrit means the victorious breath. And it has a lot to do with yoga, in concrete Ashtanga yoga, and Vinyasa yoga. So it is also called the ocean breath, and I like this so much because when you go to an Ashtanga class, for example, it really feels like the sound, it's kind of the oceans and the waves. And the reason why they call it the ocean breath is because the sound that you actually make when you do Ujjayi breath. Now, Ujjayi breath is done inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose too. And it can be done in different ways. For example, it can be done in a pranayama practice, or it can be done in an asana practice, as I mentioned before, for example, in Ashtanga practice. Now, I wanted to talk about the four main centers of sound in our body. And I'm going to be talking also about the relation that these four centers have with the Ashtanga practice and the Ujjayi breath. Now, the four main sound centers of our body are the first one, which is Vishuddha, which is the throat. The second one, which is Anahata, which is the heart. Third one, which is Manipura, which is the navel. And the fourth one, that is Mahavakya, which is the perineum. Now, when you do Ujjayi breath, the idea is that you work and make resonate these four main centers in our body. If you have actually studied chakras, you will see that the names are the same, so we will be working with also these four chakras. Now, this translated in Ashtanga practice, what it means basically is that when you start with the Ujjayi breath, so say for example, when you start primary series of Ashtanga and you begin with sun salutations, you start working with Vishuddha, so the throat Ujjayi, basically. You make your throat a bit small and you inhale, start inhaling and exhaling. As you move along the series to the standing postures, you will be doing Ujjayi breath too, but instead your heart will vibrate. So, Anahata Vakya. When you move along to the seated postures, you will be working with your navel, sound center, and then in the last part of the primary series, so in the inverted series, you will be working with the perineum. Then finally, you go to Savasana and you release. You don't do Ujjayi breath in Savasana, you just relax. So as mentioned previously, you can implement Ujjayi breathing either in pranayama, so in your breathing exercises, just sitting, or during your practice, as I just mentioned. Now, let's just make one thing clear. It actually, Ujjayi breath works through the nose, but you will be feeling these four main centers vibrating and resonating, basically. Now, it takes quite a lot of time to do Ujjayi breathing properly, and it depends on how you want to start actually doing it. It will come with time. It will come with time, so don't worry. So today, I wanted to make a basic 101 Ujjayi breathing class. And the only thing you might be needing, it's kind of like a small blanket, basically. And we are going to be using it kind of as a pillow. So now, when you do Ujjayi breath, what you are doing if you actually want to implement it in your practice is you are starting to warm your organs up, so to heat up your body. And the sound kind of goes like this. One thing that it might help, for example, is to start seeing how your throat works with the open mouth. So you would be inhaling. So inhale ha and exhale sha. And the same form of your throat actually is going to be the same one that you are going to be using by inhaling and exhaling in and out through your nose. So now the first thing that I want you to do is to try it by yourself. So again, inhaling through your nostrils, passing it through the throat, and exhaling to the back of the palatar, bringing the air out. We are going to be adding a movement later, and we're going to be laying down on our mat to see actually how our body works. But the first thing is to try, for example, 3 times by yourself. So relax and start activating your Ujjayi breath. You might be feeling and noticing that it's actually easier to do Ujjayi breath when exhaling, but if you coordinate it well, it will be a moment that it's going to be kind of automatic. So first of all, exhale all of the air that is in your lungs. Inhale. So as you can see, what's happening in my body actually is that on the inhale, I expand. And on the exhale, I contract, I bring my lungs down. I will be telling you about which points to focus so you can actually have a better idea of where this air has to go. But for the moment, let's just try something. So let's sit in a comfortable position. You can do lotus, you can do whatever feels more comfortable for you. Bring your shoulders down. And we're going to start working with Ujjayi breath, this time a bit with movement. So on the inhale, bring your palms up. So inhale, Ujjayi breath. Expand. Exhale. No. So in this exercise, what you want to do is you actually want to coordinate the movement of both of your arms with the movement and the sound of your breath in a way that when you inhale, the peak of my breath will go when I actually put my palms together, and on the exhale, I don't have any rush. We're going to do this 5 more times, and remember, expand as much as you can on the inhale, and on the exhale, contract, move your organs down. And remember, we have a tendency of exhaling faster than we inhale. So be careful and be mindful and coordinate your movements with your breath. So once more, inhale Ujjayi. Pause. Exhale. Two more. Last one. Perfect. To start, you can actually do this exercise before you do your practice or whenever you feel actually that you might need it. So now, following the exercise, what we will do is we're gonna lay with our back on our mat, and again, grab a blanket or a pillow. I do a blanket because I can fold it in many ways. So what I do is actually fold the blanket 3 times in a way that I can just rest my head on it. Perfect. So again, bring your back down and lay down on your mat. The next thing you want to do is bring both of your feet to the wall. So feet should be hip width apart, more or less, and your ankles want to be parallel to the ground. Now, I want you to focus in 2 main points. So the first point, you're going to be placing your fingertips between your navel and your perineum. So it kind of gives you more of a feeling, and you can actually see how Ujjayi is working in your body. And the second one, the second focus point is going to be on the top of your chest. So more or less in here. So when you inhale, you're going to be focusing on the top of your chest. Then when you exhale, focus on the second point in your fingertips between the navel and your perineum. Push your lungs down. So then again, we're going to try to do Ujjayi breath. Relax your shoulders, place them on your mat. Big exhale to release all the air that we have inside. Let's do it. On the inhale, Exhale. Feel how your organs are expanding on your inhale, feeling your chest open, your chest, and on the exhale, how slowly all the air goes through your trachea, goes down to your lungs, fills in the diaphragm, contracts the part of your navel and the perineum. So actually what's happening is that the air is traveling down, circulating back, and out. Let's do 5 more like this. Contract, bring your organs down, and again, remember that the sound of Ujjayi breath is our best guiding for this kind of practice. On the next exercise, what I want you to do is to focus on your feet. So on the exhale, stamp your feet into the wall. After your exhale, pause. On the inhale, press your feet as much as you can against the wall. And you can place both of your hands on top of your knees if that helps you. If you prefer to see how the Ujjayi is helping your organs start activating themselves, you can leave your fingertips in the focus point between your navel and your perineum. For this, I'm gonna bring my hands to my knees. Exhale, release all the air. Inhale, press your feet against the wall. Exhale, stamp your feet. Once more, inhale. Pause. Exhale. Start noticing how your body is circulating. Inhale to expand. Last one. Bring your feet down. Roll to one side. And join me now in a seated position. So this is a way that you can actually start working on your Ujjayi breath. So to conclude, 2 main points in here. Remember to make the correct space in your throat. So what you want to be doing with your throat is actually make it as small as you can so the air passes through. Now, this is a technique that comes with time. It doesn't come as fast as one may think. For me, for example, specifically, it helps me when I practice the Ashtanga primary series. Second point is to keep on, if you do it laying down, to keep the focus on these two main points that I just mentioned. So remember the chest, the top of your chest, and second, between your navel and your perineum. It helps if you bring your fingertips together, because when you inhale and when you exhale, you will have kind of like a physical proof of how actually your body works with Ujjayi breath. After practicing Ujjayi breath for a certain period of time comes the four main centers of sound that I just mentioned, and you will feel more and more how these four main centers start to vibrate with the activation of Ujjayi breath. And also in your practice, depending on the asanas that you are actually doing, you will feel the vibration and the energy in certain kinds of points. So now, I hope you enjoyed this practice, and just don't forget to write a comment or just write me if you have any questions.